In today's video, we're going to be talking about 9 early symptoms of a gluten intolerance. I know that some people dismiss gluten intolerance as a made-up condition, but I can assure you that it is very real for a lot of people. Now, I did a video a month or so ago about carbohydrate intolerance, which is when your body isn't producing enough of the enzyme to digest carbohydrates. But gluten intolerance is a little bit different. Gluten is actually a protein and not a carbohydrate. However, we associate it with carbohydrates because it is found in grains such as wheat, rye, and barley, which are, of course, mainly comprised of carbohydrates. When someone with a gluten intolerance eats gluten, they can experience a wide range of side effects that they might not even realize are connected. One of the most common being brain fog. So in today's video, we are going to go over and discuss 9 early signs that you are gluten intolerant. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kate. I'm a health coach and I post videos on a high-fat, nutrient-dense way of eating. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, feel free to share, and make sure to subscribe. And make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where I share new posts every single day. Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. For everything from websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that does it all. Head to squarespace.com/Health Coach Kait to start your free trial today. Now, before we get into the symptoms, I think it's really important to understand what gluten intolerance is and how it is different than celiac disease. And make sure to stick around until the end of the video because symptom number 7 might surprise you. What is a gluten intolerance? As mentioned before, gluten is a type of protein, but it does not provide any essential nutrients. It is found in grains such as wheat, barley, and rye, but it is also added to a lot of processed foods to bind foods together, improve flavor, and improve texture. So even if you are eating a product that doesn't contain grains, gluten might be added to it. The exact cause and mechanism of gluten intolerance is unclear, but what is known is that it falls on a spectrum. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, there are those with celiac disease, but you can also fall in the middle. A gluten intolerance or sensitivity can mean you experience an autoimmune reaction when you consume gluten. Over time, if you continually eat gluten, this can lead to chronic inflammation in the body, which is the root cause of most modern-day diseases. Gluten intolerance versus celiac disease. So what is the difference between a gluten intolerance and celiac disease? Celiac disease is the most extreme version of gluten intolerance. It is an autoimmune disorder that you are genetically predisposed for. When someone with celiac disease ingests gluten, it leads to damage to the lining of the small intestine. 1% of the population is estimated to have celiac disease. However, gluten intolerance rates are predicted to be much higher, up to 6%. And as I mentioned before, gluten intolerance falls on a spectrum. Whereas celiac disease can be tested for and clearly diagnosed, a gluten intolerance or sensitivity isn't as black and white. So now we're going to get into the 9 early symptoms of a gluten intolerance. But first, I just want to say that a lot of these symptoms are of course going to be similar to celiac disease. So I would definitely recommend getting tested for that if you have a lot of them. I will put a link in the description box for the test that you need to be officially diagnosed that can be shipped straight to your door anywhere in the US. But even if you do not test positive for celiac disease, you can still be gluten intolerant or gluten sensitive. And if that's the case, I would encourage you to cut gluten out of your diet for a couple of weeks and see how you feel. You might be experiencing symptoms that you didn't even realize. But anyways, enough chit chat, let's get into the symptoms. Number 1, skin rashes. This is one of the earliest signs of a gluten intolerance. Itchy rashes or bumps on your skin can be a sign that your body is intolerant to gluten, and sometimes it can even cause hives. Number 2, increased anxiety. It isn't exactly clear how anxiety and gluten are connected, but there is definitely a connection. Now, I know we're talking about gluten intolerance and not celiac disease, but the connection between anxiety and celiac disease is even more pronounced. One study found that after 1 year on a gluten-free diet, participants' anxiety decreased by 35%. So if you're someone who's not typically anxious and you've found yourself getting more anxious recently, This could be a sign that you are gluten intolerant. Number 3, allergies. A gluten intolerance can also cause allergy-like symptoms. These include sneezing, itchy eyes, and a runny or blocked nose. Number 4, you get frequently sick. Someone with a gluten intolerance might find that they start to get sick more frequently. Number 5, sudden joint pain. Joint pain is another early sign that you might be gluten intolerant. It has long been recognized that people with autoimmune forms of arthritis are at a greater risk of celiac disease, demonstrating the effect gluten can have on our joints. But even if you are only gluten intolerant, you might still experience pain in your joints. Now, before we get into the last 4 symptoms, I'm going to take a quick moment to tell you about today's sponsor, Squarespace. It is thanks to companies like Squarespace that I am able to provide you with as much free content as I do. So if you're thinking about building a website for your business or even for personal reasons, such as for a blog or even like a wedding invite, Squarespace has got you covered. Their award-winning customizable templates will give your website a polished and professional look, while also being highly customizable. You have complete control over the colors, fonts, sizing, photos, and more. Their templates are beautiful and professional. And one cool feature that is handy for anyone who works with clients is the scheduling tool. You can utilize multiple calendars, customize payment settings, and set up automatic emails and text reminders. Head to squarespace.com/Health Coach Kait if you want to start a free trial. And when you love it and decide to launch, use code Health Coach Kait to save 10% off your first order. Thank you again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Number 6, low energy. Low energy, fatigue, and brain fog are other symptoms of a gluten intolerance. These symptoms can be very common, especially right after eating gluten. So paying attention to how you feel is key. Number 7, infertility. Now this is the one that I said you might not expect. But infertility in both men and women can be caused by gluten intolerance. One study found that gluten was a factor in almost 6% of the patients with unexplained infertility. Only a small percentage, yes, but still an important one. Number 8, migraines. This is another common symptom of a gluten intolerance. If you experience migraines after eating gluten, an intolerance could be why. Number 9, nutrient deficiencies. And last but not least, if you have tested deficient in one or more nutrients, it could be due to gluten intolerance, because the damage to your gut has caused your body to have difficulty absorbing these nutrients. And those are the 9 early symptoms that you might be gluten intolerant. So to recap, number 1, skin rashes, number 2, anxiety, number 3, allergies, number 4, frequently sick, number 5, sudden joint pain, number 6, low energy, number 7, infertility, number 8, migraines, and number 9, nutrient deficiencies. Let me know in the comment section down below how many of these symptoms you currently have and if you think you are gluten intolerant. As I mentioned before, a lot of these symptoms are also applicable to celiac disease. So if you have a lot of them, definitely get tested. But even if you test negative to celiac disease, that doesn't mean that you're okay eating gluten. If you suspect you are gluten intolerant, there is nothing to lose and everything to gain from trying an elimination diet. Take gluten out of your diet for 30 days and see how you feel. You might have even gotten used to some of the symptoms, such as fatigue, and only realize how much better you feel and how much more energy you have after cutting gluten out. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up and feel free to share it with a friend who you think would find it helpful. And make sure to check out Squarespace for all of your website needs. I will put the link to check them out in the description box down below. Thank you again, guys, for watching. If you did enjoy this video, you might also enjoy the video I mentioned at the start, which was about signs and symptoms that you are carbohydrate intolerant, which is a completely different issue. So I will put that here. If you want to catch up on my most recent upload, you can find it here. And if you want to check out my keto diet and carnivore diet coaching programs, you can find those here. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.